All right, hello everybody. This is AJ Agarwal, and today what I want to talk about is building press through stories. So, for everyone who's worked with me, you guys know that the big difference that I've kind of done in helping your companies with content creation and press and overall marketing is all based on storytelling. And it's very different from the typical PR model that we see where people just pay per placements, etc. So today I want to go through and talk about our overarching strategies for our companies, why we're doing this, why we believe in storytelling, and kind of paint an outline of our overall philosophy when it comes to marketing. So that's my objective for today. To do this, it's really important that we understand, first off, the old way of marketing. So, the oldest way of marketing, when you think about it, didn't really matter so much on storytelling. And what I mean by that is if you were able to build a car and you could build that car very efficiently and make it very price effective, you probably were going to do very well in business. And so there was so much value placed on the quality of the product. You could argue that in the old days, more value was put on product quality than ever before because that was the big differentiator between success and failure. So you could really rely on just having an amazing product, and if you did that well, consumers would come and people would buy. Then we saw kind of a shift, and we saw a shift into, what I call brute force marketing. And what that means is things like television ads, cold calls, etc. So companies who had a lot of money through the oldest ways of marketing by originally having an amazing product were able to further prove and protect their place in the marketplace by using these channels. So things like TV ads. If you were a dominant company, like let's say Kellogg cereal, and you had TV, it was easy for you to really build a fortress with marketing through television because you could just buy out your competitors in terms of the way to reach TV. And at that point in time, consumers watched television ads. We picked up the phones when we saw a number we didn't recognize. We checked snail mail. All of those things we were relying on. So those methods of communication and marketing were very, very effective. And I think there's been a huge shift between that and what we do today. But a lot of companies who are in that old style of marketing really suffer today because they're still in that mentality. The big game changer came when consumers stopped liking, the cold calls, when they stopped watching TV ads, etc. In this point in time, there's never been an easier way for a consumer to block an ad. It is so hard to reach people today because of things like caller ID, things that we can do on our television so we watch zero ads, etc. We've become so good at blocking out ads that storytelling has become fundamental in reaching consumers. And people, again, have really struggled to acknowledge that. And still, we see a lot of companies trying that brute force of marketing. And while they do get returns, it's no longer the most cost effective mechanism, and in very few industries, it produces the best results. And it also allows smaller and more innovative companies to really pose a threat. Now, that kind of has changed with press. And I think where we see the old school types of marketing is in the two different ways we see companies really go after press and content creation. So, the old school way, and for a lot of you guys, when I came into the company to kind of help out, we were using that old school model of paying a PR firm a ton of money to try to get one feature article, or we would try to get one link just to build our SEO. And we see a lot of companies do that today. A lot of mass market companies and a lot of company leaders do this today because they have so much money to throw at that. They just think one link over one link over one link is going to be the most effective way. Where in reality, what happens is that tons of money is spent. It's not the most effective way to do it, and it doesn't produce, a huge asset base for you. So if you get in the press once, it's great, but you have to capitalize on it, and the value of that only goes so far. You compare that with actually building your assets up, building a fortress, content creation, SEO. All those things can build up to protect your company. And so storytelling is really the key differentiator in that. So if you try to tell a story through the press, which is what we try to do in our marketing strategies today, if we do that effectively, you build press over time. You compare that with the idea of just trying to get placements and just trying to get links, And the two are completely different. And at first, you might see them go kind of neck and neck, but over a long period of time, you're going to see the storytelling just multiply, build on each other, keep growing, 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 and growing. While links will move more like this. So it's more inconsistent. It's like a pulse, right? So you have an amazing feature article that comes out about you, let's say in Inc., and your traction spikes up. But then after a couple weeks, it shoots right back down. And then you see these small jumps, etc., and you have to do it again. What we want to do instead is build the story up. So in almost every single company that I've worked with, we start with content creation and we start by taking over the blog. Why we do that is no matter what, no matter how many outlets we get into, we want a solid asset base of content where we can drive traffic in from users, where we can use that, where people and other writers can come to our sites and take our blog posts and link to them without us having to do any work at all. And over time, you build that story. So we first start with content creation, and then after that, we go through and we'll get a placement in an article. Then we'll do a feature story. But it all works in crafting that same message. So for one of our clients today, let's say we're focusing on security, we'll build our content around security. Then we'll get a quote in, then we'll do a feature story, but it all builds around that brand. And the power of what we do and why we start with content creation and then we build in a press, then we build it over time is it's so much more powerful. It protects us from competitors and it also allows us to get placements much more easier in the future. And the overarching goal is to build an empire, and that's what we want to work with and what we want to do. So kind of mapping out our strategy going forward, what we're doing on marketing and why we're doing it, we're starting with content because that's our solid asset base. And by doing that and continuously putting resources into that, it allows traffic to come in without us having to do a ton of work all the time. We can actually generate traffic while we sleep. It also allows the press to see us as a solid source of news. And that's going to allow us to get placements in that we're not even working for because people see us as an authority figure. It's also going to help with branding. Our customers love when they can learn something about us. And once they're actually learning something, the chances of them buying our product increases dramatically. And if we do that right, and then we all center that around the story that we want to build in the press, online marketing, Google, SEO, all of those things will take care of themselves. So just want to give a quick video about our strategy, the difference between what we've been doing in marketing and what the traditional market's doing, and the philosophy behind it. Any questions or feedback, please give it to me. I want you guys to be very involved in this process. Hope that was helpful, and I look forward to talking to you guys again, producing more further videos. Please share this with the rest of the company if you can, if you think it provides value. Thank you so much, guys.